Hello and welcome once again to our 2026 series in TEW 9. We are, of course, playing as WWE for this year. We're going to try and go through the whole of 2026. 24 episodes in total. Actually, it should be 25 episodes in total because obviously we need to include our introductory episode. And we are over halfway through now. So if you want to check out the rest of the series, go back and check it all out. Today, it is the Women's Royal Rumble, a pretty big event in the calendar, certainly. In terms of what we're going to be doing on this show, well, we have got the whole of the Road to Royal Rumble tour to bring you. 10 whole nights of action that we've booked and played out, and we'll bring you all the key happenings from those shows, and then of course we'll bring you the Rumble itself. Just a few pieces of business, I guess, before we go any further. The first one being Jeff Cobb. He's still with the company, if I can find him. JC Mateo, Jeff Cobb. He tested positive for soft drugs, apparently, according to our drug testing regime, and we find him. Therefore, that's his first strike. They get 2 strikes, and with the 3rd strike, they are out. So Jeff Cobb better be on his best behaviour from now on. We also have re-signed a couple of people to contracts. One of them, Lola Vice on NXT. She's been offered a new 2-year deal. We've offered, and she has signed a new deal for two-year deal for Bayley. Same goes for Tyler Bate, and we are waiting on his response. But Carmelo Hayes has also been offered a new 3-year deal. For whatever reason, I cannot find him. Here he is, Carmelo Hayes. Couldn't navigate towards him. I don't know why. There is one person who we are allowing their contract to expire, and it just happens to be Kathy Kelly, who doesn't really have much of a role or a purpose on the roster, and so her contract's coming up. We're just not going to renew it. And that's all the business stuff cleared up. So let's go to the Royal Rumble tour, shall we? Because it's been an eventful thing. We have conducted 30 qualifying matches to determine the participants in the Rumble. So much like we did with the men, absolutely no surprises for this one. And we start down here. No, this is the wrong page. We start down here all the way at Road to Women's Rumble Day 1. You see, it did overlap a little bit with the men's Fastlane tour. But this has obviously been a bit more extensive. And on night 1, Blake Monroe became the first person to qualify for the Women's Rumble, defeating NXT's Jada Parker in this one. Then we had Asuka beat Alba Fire to also qualify for the Women's Rumble. Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton defeated Bayley and Lyra Valkyria when Lyra walked out on Bayley after another miscommunication between these two. So Bayley and Lyra have obviously had problems as a tag team just recently, and there's more problems here. Ronda Rousey cut a promo after her return, of course, at the previous show, Evolution, and says that she returned to WWE to take back the women's title. And so she's setting out her stall quite early on back in the company. And then finally in the main event, Nikki Bella defeated Kairi Sane to qualify for the Royal Rumble match. So on to day 2 of the tour, we had Zoe Stark qualify for the Rumble, defeating NXT's Fallon Henley. Nikki Bella came out and said that after qualifying for the Rumble last week, she has a dream of one last world title. Stephanie Vaquer also qualified for the Rumble, defeating Cora Jade, and Trish Stratus became the 6th qualifier for the match. She beat Ivy Nile in her match. And then after the match that finished that particular show, not that particular show. After that qualifying match, Blake Monroe came out to confront Trish Stratus, but told her congratulations and she'll see her at the Rumble. So Trish and Blake Monroe through into the Rumble, and of course they had a match at Evolution, which Trish came out on top. So on to night 3 of the Rumble tour. Liv Morgan qualified for the Rumble, defeating Indy Hartwell in the opening match. Bayley and Lyra lost another tag team competition due to miscommunication between them. After the match, Bayley told Lyra that they have to do something to fix their issues, and Lyra tells her not to worry. Natalya qualified for the Royal Rumble with victory over Stevie Turner. Rhea Ripley told Ronda Rousey that if she wants a shot at her, she'll need to win the Rumble just like everyone else. And finally, Bianca Belair defeated Becky Lynch to qualify for the Royal Rumble, so Becky Lynch is not going to be in the Rumble match. Day 4 of the tour saw Lola Vice qualify for the Rumble match by beating Ariana Grace, both obviously up from NXT for this particular match. Zariah defeated Xia Brookside, so another two wrestlers not on the main WWE roster. I think Xia Brookside is a loan we got from TNA. Zariah takes her place in the Rumble. Becky Lynch cuts an angry promo where she tells Charlotte Flair that she should be ready to reap the consequences of her actions. This is after Charlotte Flair had helped Bianca Belair overcome Becky Lynch in their qualifying match that previously happened. And Bayley qualifies for the Royal Rumble, defeating Julia when Lyra Valkyria interferes, though Bayley doesn't seem to know anything about it, is surprised by it taking place, and appears a little bit put off by the fact that Lyra helped her win the match. So on to day 5 of the tour, and Michin defeated Peyton Royce to qualify for the Royal Rumble. Then, after beating Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, the Kabuki Warriors say they want their titles back, and they challenge the champs for a rematch. Alexa Bliss, beat Nikita Lyons to put her place in the Royal Rumble. Then, in a promo, Bayley apologized to Julia for Lyra's interference in their Rumble qualifying match. Ronda Rousey cut a promo saying that she's taking Rhea Ripley's advice and entering the Rumble, and she'll win. So Ronda Rousey will have a qualifying match later in the tour. And finally, Tiffany Stratton qualified for the Rumble when she beat Nia Jax when Liv Morgan interfered on behalf of Stratton. Obviously, Jax and Liv Morgan continue their long feud. So on to day 6 of this tour, and it was an epic tour, I've got to be quite honest with you. B-Fab defeated Izzy Dame to qualify for the Royal Rumble, both up from NXT. Bayley and Lyra defeated Julia and Sol Ruka in a tag team match when Lyra used the ropes for leverage to pin Julia. Then after the match, an angry Julia said that she wanted a match with Lyra, and Lyra says that she'll do it so long as the Intercontinental title is on the line. Julia, obviously the champion there. Then we had Shayna Baszler return to the company and qualify for the Royal Rumble, defeating Chelsea Green. We did employ a number of creative ways of getting all of these Royal Rumble qualifying matches to happen. We brought in a number of wrestlers. We actually signed them, the likes of Shayna Baszler, for example. But we also brought in a number of loans from TNA, and also brought up a load of people from NXT for one match or two, just to kind of get us over the number that we needed. Next, we had Nia Jax cut a promo on Liv Morgan, telling Morgan that she's going to make her life a living hell. Jade Cargill then defeated Charlotte Flair to qualify for the Rumble when Becky Lynch's music hits, and it distracted Flair, but Becky didn't actually come out, but all the same, the distraction allowed Jade Cargill to get the victory. Day 7 of the tour saw Dakota Kai come out on top in a Rumble qualifying match against Kiana James. Sol Ruka qualified for the Rumble by defeating Carmen Petrovich. Toni Storm defeated Candice LeRae in another qualifying match for the Rumble. Charlotte Flair cut a promo where she said that she knows it was Becky Lynch who was behind the distraction that took place at the last show. And finally, Lash Legend and Natalya successfully defended their tag team titles against the Kabuki Warriors in a rematch. I should make it clear at this point, by the way, that all these Rumble qualifying matches were drawn at random, and then I chose a victor from each of those matches. So there's an extent to which this was reasonably random how this all came out, but we'll stick with it anyway, in terms of just telling you what the rest of the results are. So on night 8 of the tour, Venny, who we signed not too long ago, she's up from NXT, defeated another NXT wrestler in JC Jane to qualify for the Royal Rumble. Raquel Rodriguez defeated Dana Brooke, making Dana Brooke who was making her return to WWE, but Raquel Rodriguez got the victory and qualified for the Rumble. And Ronda Rousey qualified for the Rumble as well, defeating Maxine Dupree in her qualifier. Finally, we had Becky Lynch challenge Charlotte Flair to one more match between them at the Rumble to settle their issues once and for all. So on the penultimate night of the tour, Kalani Jordan qualified for the Rumble with victory over Dani Luna. Havoc beat Lyra Valkyria in a bit of an upset when Valkyria got herself disqualified trying to cheat. So what happens here is that Lyra Valkyria was actually being out-wrestled and was worried about losing the match, so tried to cheat, but the referee caught her and disqualified her. And finally, Charlotte Flair accepted Becky Lynch's challenge, but countered with an additional challenge. She said that whoever loses, should be banned from having a world title shot for a full calendar year. And finally, Beth Phoenix qualified for the Rumble when Lash Legend became distracted by Natalya, who was conflicted about whether to interfere or not. Obviously, Beth Phoenix has been a long-time friend of Natalya, but she's also the tag team title partner of Lash Legend. So with her being conflicted about getting involved, Lash Legend got distracted and Beth Phoenix got the victory. So on to the final night of the tour, and Nikki Cross qualified for the Rumble with victory over Billie Kay. Zelina Vega became the 29th entrant of the Rumble, defeating Wendy Chu. And finally, Roxanne Perez defeated AJ Lee and qualified for the Rumble when Raquel Rodriguez interfered to help her. The last significant thing that happened on the tour was that Rhea Ripley cut a promo where she said she'd be watching the Rumble very closely indeed. So that is all of the results of the Road to Women's Rumble tour, and it's time to take you to the Women's Rumble itself. So it's the Royal Rumble, and we've got 23,105 people in Princeton Stadium today. I think we're in the tri-state area. And I will say, before I go any further, that I am very nervous about this Royal Rumble. It has been a tumultuous tour, it's got to be said. We haven't always got the best ratings that we would have liked, the best show ratings we would have liked. And the Royal Rumble itself is a bit of a hit and miss match. I found the men's Rumble, for example, wasn't incredible. So it'll be interesting to see how well this does. But we start with a six-way match between Kairi Sane, Ivy Nile, Lash Legend, Maxine Dupree, Kiana James and Candice LeRae. 6 women that didn't qualify for the Rumble itself, but have a chance here to win this and get a shot at the Intercontinental title. And Kairi Sane gets the victory, pinning Kiana James with an insane elbow. She was the best worker in the match by quite some way, so that justifies for me the decision to have her win this one. A segment rating of 49 to get things started, and Kairi Sane gets a victory here. Then we had Nia Jax defeat Cora Jade in 7 minutes and 28 seconds by pinfall with a standing leg drop. They don't click at all, and that made for an awkward bout. Cora Jade continues to go through the personal issues which affect her performances in nearly every match. A segment rating of 42, and the crowd heat at the end is unclear, which is of concern because I haven't seen a show recover itself to not be unclear after it gets to that status, so hopefully we can turn that around, but who knows. Up next, we had a tag team contest as the Iconics took on the Glam Regime. This wasn't too bad, 48 rated. The Iconics got the victory in 12:21 when Billie Kay pinned Alba Fire with a boyfriend stealer. Peyton Royce did a 45, Billie Kay a 46, Alba Fire a 46, and Chelsea Green a 44. The Iconics get a victory here. So into the sort of bigger matches, and first of all the Intercontinental title match, Julia defending against Lyra Valkyria, and Julia gets the victory in 14 minutes and 12 seconds by pinfall with a diving cross body. Julia makes defense number 3 of her women's Intercontinental title. A decent match this one, with Julia coming out on top against Lyra. After the match, Lyra Valkyria then attacks Julia in frustration at the loss before Bayley comes out and makes the save to stop Valkyria from attacking Julia. And when she does so, Lyra turns around and hits Bayley without realizing that it's Bayley trying to stop her from doing the attack. And Lyra is very apologetic instantly, but Bayley walks out angry with her current tag team partner. Segment rating here of 51. And just Lyra Valkyria's gimmick is getting stale as well, which probably didn't help in this one. Then we have Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair in the kind of final match of their feud, really, with the loser not being able to take a title shot for the world title in over a year, well, in 1 calendar year. So until next year's Royal Rumble, they cannot have a title shot. And Becky Lynch gets the victory in 17 minutes 19 seconds by pinfall with a pump handle slam. A segment rating of 59. See, I'm very, very concerned now. Overall, all of these ratings have been really, really low. And whilst this was okay, despite it being a long old story between these two, and despite the potential experience of these two, it's clear to me Charlotte Flair just doesn't really have the ability to go anymore, which is why I've kind of had her lose this one, because we might still want to give Becky some title shots, but not Charlotte Flair, and so she loses this one. And not good signs. Can the Rumble do anything to recover this situation? It cannot. A 55 rated match. And yeah, I mean, just really, really poor. This is going to dramatically reduce our popularity. This series has been a bit of a disaster, really, in terms of popularity. We've gradually lost our popularity, and I think it's just that the game rates WWE's popularity is way higher than the talent in the organization. And actually, I don't think that's that inaccurate, to be honest. And I'm not just talking about the women either. I'm talking about both women and the men. I just don't think they have the level of talent required for such a big company anymore. And I think they're getting away with it in real life at this point in time, but not, unfortunately, in our game. And Bianca Belair, anyway, is the winner of the Rumble in 56 minutes and 9 seconds. The final four were Ronda Rousey, Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, and Bianca Belair. And Ronda Rousey was actually eliminated by Jade Cargill here. And so that was a pretty big deal. Ronda Rousey then kind of returned the favour and attacked Jade Cargill, which should set up a feud between them. And then finally, Tiffany Stratton was eliminated by Bianca Belair. So Bianca Belair is the winner of the Rumble and will go on to SummerSlam to face Rhea Ripley. And ultimately, the reason I chose that as the winner, Bianca Belair as the winner, is that ultimately she's easily got the best chance to make us have a really good match between two women, Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Sorry about the garbled nature of the way I said that, but what I mean is that basically Bianca Belair just gives me the best chance for the main event of SummerSlam to be actually good, whereas as you can see right now, we're really struggling with the women's roster. 5 women were off their game for this one. We also had during the match Nia Jax run in and attack Liv Morgan, so their feud continues with this match. A couple of people benefited here. Ronda Rousey was penalised due to being in extremely poor form. We've seen that. As a warning in other matches that she's been in so far. So all in all, a pretty poor Royal Rumble, pretty poor show in general. And it ends with a pretty damn good segment where Rhea Ripley comes out to the ring and looks at Bianca Belair, shakes her hand ahead of the fact that the pair will face each other at SummerSlam, and then grabs a microphone and tells her and says to Bianca Belair, "I will see you at SummerSlam." So that's the end of the show. A pretty decent way to finish it with that angle, but all in all, a pretty terrible show. Lost our popularity in 49 regions due to an overall rating of 56. The matches just simply were not good enough. Nothing over 60 here, other than that final angle, but no matches over 60. And yeah, just a real problem. I think we'll give Bianca Belair some credit for, a decent win in the Rumble. Julia was probably about as good as it gets elsewhere on the show, and I'm gonna have to give Rhea Ripley a compliment because she came out and did the best segment of the night. Financial report. Obviously, we made loads of money, which is, another thing that's true of WWE in our current in reality. And there you go. Look at all those regions that we've lost popularity in. Absolutely disastrous show for the company all the way around. Like just so many places we've lost popularity in. And really, really poor. Bayley is noticeably extremely happy with life in WWE. How much credit do you take for this? She's a favourite of mine. Yeah, I mean, I like Bayley. It's true, actually. Lola Vice was off her game tonight. How disappointed are you in her inconsistency? Give her a break. Word is that Peyton Royce is extremely happy. I'm glad that she's having a good time. It's known that Nikki Bella and AJ Lee really don't like each other. Does this not reflect badly on your locker room environment? I like a little tension backstage. Didn't go down well with those two. Fine. Top of your roster has a slightly mature vibe. Of your big stars, the average age is around 39 years old. Is it a worry to you that so many of your biggest draws are at best starting to reach the tail end of their career? 39 isn't particularly old. You have 2 workers, Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, who really don't like each other. You plan to address this? I don't intend to get involved. And that is the end of the media scrum. Post-show phase of the night has been complete. We can move on, and we really do need to move on from the Royal Rumble because it has not been a good night for us as a company. In the next 2 episodes, we will be bringing you SummerSlam. There is a chance that those episodes will come out a little later. The schedule I've been kind of trying to keep to for this series is once a week with these shows, but I think life has gotten a little bit busier, and this save is pretty intense in terms of the amount of stuff you have to do, as you can tell from the fact we had 10 shows to lead up to this Rumble. So I don't think it might be that we can get another episode out next Wednesday, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's maybe a gap of a week and then the next episode comes out, just to warn you, because I think that's just where we are. If you've enjoyed this video, if you've been enjoying watching along with this series, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.